welcome into this very special edition of the SAU Coaches Show. I'm Daniel Gallegos, joined alongside by our new head men's and women's tennis coach, Greg Owen. And Coach, congratulations on the position, tennis being brought back here after a several-year hiatus. The men's program, a longer hiatus than the women last competing here in the early 2010s. But we want to welcome you to the Mule Rider family. And for those that don't know you by now, you got hired over Christmas break, essentially, and you kind of got here at the front end of the year, and you've been hitting the ground running. So people may not have seen you on campus or seen you out in the community yet, trying to fill both of those rosters. So if you could, just for our fans out there, just give us a little bit of a background on you, where you're from, and some of your tennis history.
Oh, for sure. First off, thank you, Daniel. I'm very excited to be here and very excited to be here at SAU. It's been a great process and journey to get here so far. A little bit about myself. I played at Southeastern Oklahoma State collegiately. That's where I graduated from. And then I went to Midlothian, Texas, where I coached high school and middle school for 6 years. Really enjoyed my time there. Just great people, great community. And then I made the decision to take over at Seward County Community College in Liberal, Kansas, where I was there for 3 years. Enjoyed, good success there, and had great players, and I coached alongside one of my best friends. So it was just a great experience as well, but could not be more excited to be here. I know that. And of course, right now, just been very busy on the recruiting trail, of course, trying to make moves to different tournaments. And of course, most of my day is filled with Skype calls and talking about our upcoming program and just what we're all about here and what the team will look like.
Talk a little bit about, obviously, when the job opened up and the decision was made to bring back tennis. Mentioned the men's tennis team hadn't been around since we moved to the NCAA Division II. That's been well over 20, 25 years. The women's tennis program was here up until about 2010 and 11, so a lengthy layover, and it's really our tennis programs have had rich histories on both sides, particularly on the men's side. What was it that drew you to this opportunity here at Southern Arkansas, knowing that this was going to be a program that's essentially going to start from the scratch again?
It was exciting, the idea of getting to build the program back up. Obviously, a rich history that I try to do all my homework on and my due diligence. It was definitely an exciting opportunity, but what really sold me is just the commitment to winning here. Starting with Coach Browning, the athletic office here, and just everyone that I came across. They were just great people, to be honest. Very helpful, and just after being here just a few short hours, my family and I were both just absolutely sold on Magnolia and Southern Arkansas University.
You mentioned your time collegially at Southeastern Oklahoma. They're in our conference, in the Great American Conference. Haven't competed against them in tennis in quite some time here at SAU, but what does that mean, knowing that you playing at Southeastern Oklahoma, so you kind of more or less have a little bit of a foundation of what the conference is like? I know probably a little bit different of the landscape whenever you played there, different conferences and whatnot, but a lot of the same players, especially regionally. Do you think that's going to be a benefit for you?
Yes, definitely. I feel very familiar, not just through my playing time, but also my coaching time at Seward. We competed against a lot of these teams in the conference, and I have a great deal of respect for not only Southeastern, but all the teams in the GAC, strong tennis programs with a rich history as well, and just privileged to get to be a part of it as well, and I look forward to getting to compete in it for sure.
Looking ahead towards the future, obviously we mentioned you got hired around Christmas time, got here at the first of the year, and you've been in and out. You're recruiting a lot of the Skype calls you're talking about, trying to fill out your roster, head coach of both the men's and women's team here at Southern Arkansas. But for those that don't know, kind of give an overview landscape of tennis at the collegiate level. What's the structure like? What are our match days like? What can we be expecting whenever tennis resumes here?
Energetic, a lot of excitement for sure. During my recruiting, that's what I sell to the players, is just the type of training we're going to have here, and what we're going to bring out on match days. I feel very confident that it'll be an exciting product out on the courts here, and just an exciting, energetic atmosphere, and just a lot of good stuff, of course.
In terms of the roster size, what is the ideal, number in mind as you're going out and recruiting? You play 6 are in a lineup, correct?
Yes.
In tennis, and then you're going to play the 3 doubles matches and 6 singles. So not necessarily that you got to go out and just get 6 players, but what's an ideal number, and particularly starting up a program? What are you trying to achieve here?
I definitely love on the practice side creating through competition. The competition starts within ourselves, of course, and what we bring each day in practice. It's tough to put an exact number on it. I know my previous teams that I had at Seward, I had 18 plus players on those rosters, but obviously just kind of a different landscape here. I would probably look on, somewhere around 10 to 12, but of course, positions, singles and doubles, those spots will definitely be earned, through our competition and practice. So it's not necessarily where 6 players will be playing singles and doubles both. It, obviously could be a mix and match in there, and we'll determine that once we get started that second week in September.
Yeah, I know a lot of probably your talks now with your recruits and even some alumni, former tennis players, just people who want to support tennis here on our campus and within our community. You're obviously going out and selling the vision of what you want Southern Arkansas tennis to be, both for the men's and women's, getting back to hopefully the historical success that we've had back in the 80s, NAIA. One of the big parts of that is going to be the tennis facility. Those that have followed tennis or tennis complex over the last few years know that the facilities fell below what they needed to be to compete at a high level. That's going to change in a very big way. Part of that was reason for tennis coming back. So what do you know about the tennis complex that you can tell us, and what are you excited about, and what is it going to be, knowing that you're selling that vision on what you want it to look like?
I could not be more excited about the facility. I mean, that was a huge selling point as well. I've been showing kind of some of the artwork that I've been getting and pieces of to different recruits. Obviously we'll have a championship style court where it'll have seating on both sides. And I say, of course, the most important job of mine right now is making sure that I get the right players and the right people on those courts to display, and of course, it'll be really exciting, but could not be more excited about the upcoming facility. And, I know when they're out there working and stuff like that, it's hard for me to stay away, when I break away from recruiting, and I want to see everything that they're doing out there and just kind of keep posted with everything.
I know we're all very excited about that facility coming into shape, and we'll be sure on MuleRiderAthletics.com and all of our social media accounts, and we'll touch on the tennis specific ones here in a second, but we'll be providing construction updates throughout, so we'll keep everybody up to date as the facility is constructed and finally ready. And you're going to compete for the first time with the rejuvenated program next fall. For those who don't know, tennis is a sport similar to that of golf, where you compete in the fall and in the spring.
Yes. Championship
portion of your schedule will be in the spring, but in the conference the last few years, they've also done singles championships in the fall. So kind of walk us through the scheduling, kind of what you would want to accomplish in the fall, knowing your team championship is in the spring, but also the singles championships and whatnot in the fall.
The fall is, I don't ever want to call it like an individual season, because everything we do is of that team mindset and team mentality, but it does, it's a lot of individual. I call it the ITA schedule, where we'll have 4 to 5 tournaments that'll kind of conclude with, we'll have the ITA regional, national, and then of course continue moving on, hopefully. But it gives me a great sample size of seeing how student athletes, kind of manage the schedule with the travel, our practices and things like that. It gives a good sample size to prepare for a championship season. But of course, those are also big time matches that we're playing in the fall, that we look to really set the groundwork for our program during that time through our work in practice, and then those 4 to 5 tournaments that we'll be competing at.
This time next year we'll look up and, we'll be in the first part of March, and we'll be in the thick of our spring sports season. That will mean we'll be in the thick of tennis, both on the men's and women's side, and we're very excited for that and happy to have you at the head of bringing both our men's and women's tennis programs back here to Southern Arkansas and reinvigorating that historic tradition we've had with our tennis programs. Give you one-on-one opportunity here at the close if you want to kind of just give a little bit of a sales pitch, anything that we didn't mention, your vision for the tennis programs, how people can reach you, how your email or whatever, the Mule Rider Tennis social media accounts that you've just created. Is there any way they can get in touch with you and keep up and following with Southern Arkansas tennis?
Yes, I mean anyone, whether it's a recruit or an alumni, anything like that. I love to obviously talk about my vision more, and love to talk with those people that have been a part of this program or look to be a part of this program. My email, of course, is gregowen@saumag.edu. It's on the website, of course. A little bit about the vision of the program. it starts with the conference. We'll have not just our daily goals in practice, but we'll have our season goals as well, which start with our Great American Conference and our region, and then, of course, propelling us to the national tournament as well.
We appreciate it very much for your time again. It's new head men's and women's tennis coach Greg Owen. They're starting the program back after a several-year hiatus, the men's program, a little bit longer than the women's, but we're excited to have Coach Owen in charge of both of them. Be sure, again, to check MealRiderAthletics.com throughout. Again, starting next fall, we'll be going out on the courts, and we'll be giving you those construction updates on the new tennis complex as well. Coach, we appreciate it, and thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much.